sounding off over a bizarre TTC bus safety feature.
Why horns are blaring uninterrupted and the impact of the noise on neighbors. Good evening. We begin tonight with frustrated residents making a racket about TTC bus horns. The
sound going off sometimes for minutes at a time. Tonight, the TTC is apologizing, saying it's actually part of a safety feature. CTV's Allison Hurst explains.
It is 11:16 p.m.
He walks through his condo, and as soon as he opens the balcony door, he's greeted by a loud, sustained honk coming from an idling bus at Kipling Station.
Nice late night, 1 minute long honk.
It's very loud. I mean, I'm in a soundproof building and I can still hear it. It's really loud.
Penelope Irving lives across the street from the bus station and says it's been happening more frequently in the last year.
Like 1 o'clock in the morning, between 1 and 4, for example, when it's optimal sleep time for most people, that's when it seems to be going on, and that's when it seems to go on longer.
It happens during the day, too. A resident took this video saying the horn was blaring in the afternoon.
It's just really inconvenient. The horns keep on going for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight.
Dave Chauhan says people in his building have complained to the TTC and city about the issue.
They should be able to switch it off, and I take TTC all the time, and I haven't ever come across such a scenario where the horn just would keep on going.
In a statement to CTV News, a TTC spokesperson says, "We apologize to the neighbors for this inconvenience. This is a feature of the buses that is intended for safety. We are aware that sometimes they go off, and we've been reminding operators about disarming the feature whenever possible to do so. We will continue to remind them to disable the alarms out of respect to the community."
I feel bad for the drivers, don't get me wrong, but there's got to be some policy in place where this is not happening, and I'm not sure they're paying attention to that.
There are several towers directly across a small street from the station. Marianne Molino says there is noise in the area, but she lives on the other side of the building and can still hear the horns at all hours.
If there's nobody on the bus, if the driver's not on the bus, why are the alarms going off?
Residents hope action is taken soon.
Oh, I thought that guy in red was gonna stop it.
To keep the horns from blaring. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
There is more evidence tonight that speed cameras improve road safety. A new study out of Sick Kids Hospital finds the devices have significantly reduced aggressive driving and speeding in this city. Researchers looked at 250 locations between July of 2020 and December of 2022 and measured speeds before and after the cameras went up. They found the overall number of cars speeding dropped by 45%.
The idea that there are ways of moderating the speed in school zones is huge. And this is just one of the tools that the city has. The other is setting speed limits. The others are some built environment interventions. But they all support each other, and they all give that environment where children can walk to school safely.
This year, the City of Toronto doubled the number of speed enforcement cameras. There are now 150 of them in operation.
Despite support from the medical community, it's clear these cameras continue to inflame some people. Another device has been damaged. The city confirming today this speed camera on Lakeshore East in the Beaches was vandalized last week. Right now, just the base remains. It's up to the vendor to replace or fix the device within 30 days at no cost to the city.
Also tonight, restricting rent evictions. A new bylaw designed to crack down on bad faith landlords is set to take effect. What it means for Toronto tenants, just ahead.
But first, the city remains under a heat warning, and with the humidity, the air is thick and muggy.
But it's not stopping people from enjoying the outdoors as we head into this summer weekend. CTV Sean Leithong is live at Sunnyside Beach with more on how residents are trying to beat the heat on this Friday night. Sean.
Well, Natalie and Nathan, I think what might be most difficult about the way the heat is sitting over the city right now is there seems to be no breeze. Down here at Sunnyside, I don't know if you can see the water behind me, but it's like glass. It's just nothing to cool people down, but still, people are trying their best to have a good time.
Haze hanging over the city for a second day. Heat that has taken root and won't break, even for the early morning walk.
It's like walking through a bowl of soup this morning.
Gotta come out at 5 a.m. It's the only way. I'm already sweating.
Oh, that's why I'm wearing all white, to make sure to stay cool.
A heat warning is once again in effect today, with temperatures flirting with 30 degrees and the humidex jumping to near 40. At Sunnyside Beach, laying in the sand is not an escape.
It's really hot, like I'm sweating, even though I have no clothes on.
So breaking the heat can mean getting in the water. with Andre Bergerac enjoying a long swim.
Yeah, it cools me off. Everything is perfect. This is no problem whatsoever.
And with the air feeling heavy along the boardwalk,
it's pretty thick, pretty hot.
Some dogs, like Lucy, look forward to a trip to the water.
Just jumps right in, even in the swamps. That's why we came down here to clean her off a little bit.
While temperatures remain high, people are advised to find ways to keep cool. The city has 500 cooling centers, including a map on the website to find the closest one. And there are, of course, the pools. Ryan DeBruin and his kids are visiting from Portland, Maine, and they weren't expecting this heat.
No, I wasn't really, and then I saw that it was going to be 40,
So like much of the city, even visitors are putting regular plans on hold.
It's been nice, but it's pretty hot, so can't really do much except be in the pool all day.
And just wait for a little relief.
So no sooner than when I talked at the top of the story, some relief actually came. We got a little bit of a breeze this way, so it does feel much better. But people are advised to take precautions if they feel lethargic and they notice excessive sweating, they feel lightheaded, they're supposed to get inside and also stay very hydrated. The hope is there's going to be some relief tomorrow, but the heat is likely to come back. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan and Natalie, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. The heat is in the city isn't stopping the music at the Beach's Jazz Street Festival. It's just one of the events in the city this weekend. The annual Street Fest portion of the Jazz Festival is on again tonight and Saturday along Queen Street East.
The Koreatown Festival is back for its second year. It celebrates Korean culture and takes place along Bloor between Crawford and Markham Streets tomorrow from 1 to 9 p.m.
And the stage is set for the National Bank Open men's tournament at Sobeys Stadium. Qualifications begin tomorrow and the first round starting on Sunday. This year's tournament features an expanded 12-day, 96-player format.
And the mayor has declared it the weekend in the city. The Scarborough native is returning home, set to perform 4 shows in Toronto starting Sunday night at Rogers Centre. Mayor Olivia Chow says the declaration is about recognizing the weekend's cultural impact both at home and globally.
And time now for a check on the forecast. Here's a live shot of the city. This heat is on. A heat warning still in effect. The heat's going to stick around for several days, so try to get used to it. Drink lots of water if you're outside, stay in the shade, and take all the necessary precautions. As for what's happening now, we've got watches and warnings pretty much in the horseshoe there, Toronto, Hamilton, Niagara Falls. That should leave or end tomorrow. As for rain coming, there could be a spot shower here and there, but really nothing much for tonight. There is a light wind coming from the north and also from the west, but that's certainly not going to cool things down. Right now it is red hot, 27 Niagara Falls, 27 in Hamilton, 29 in Peterborough, but really it's the humidex. That's the story. It feels like we're in the mid-30s. Right now it feels like 36 by the islands and 35 by the airport. We'll give you a look at the long-range forecast before we get to the recap a little bit later on in the show.
All right, thank you, Nathan. A number of shutdowns and early closures for TTC riders to deal with this weekend. Service on Line 1 will end at 11 tonight between St. George and St. Andrew stations. Shuttle buses will run in place of them until the end of service, but the closure will remain in place through the weekend because of planned track work, station work. There is also a full-day closure tomorrow on Line 2 between Kipling and Keele. On Sunday, there is a late opening to be aware of with service between St. George and Broadview not starting until 11 a.m.
And heads up if you plan on catching a Via train between Toronto and Windsor. A freight train derailment near Paris, Ontario is impacting service. Via has been forced to cancel some routes or use alternate tracks to get around the derailment area. Via says affected passengers will be informed directly of any changes. Well, the city is moving forward with plans to better protect tenants from so-called renovictions.
A new bylaw is set to go into effect next week. CTV's Scott Lightfoot has the details.
For Torontonians who rent, it is a new protection, years in the making.
We are so proud and happy that this bylaw is being enacted now because it is much needed and is a great step in the right direction.
Starting next Thursday, the city's rental renovation license bylaw goes into effect, meant to crack down on bad faith evictions.
Fairness will be the very baseline of everything that happens. You would have to prove that you really do need that apartment empty. And for many years, I've worked with tenants that have come to me and say, why does the landlord need that empty? It just says he's putting in a new tile on the bathroom floor and a new kitchen cupboards.
Starting next week, a landlord will need to obtain a rental renovation license from the city before they can begin work renovating a property, which is currently inhabited by a renter.
They will have to apply for a building permit anyway, which means that our building department can say, okay, is this really, you need to empty out people, you're changing a sink, or you're doing repainting or changing carpet, like, come on.
If the work requires the tenant to vacate the premises, the bylaw also forces landlords to offer either temporary housing or compensation.
Tenants will now be able to get compensation, including for things like moving costs. And landlords who refuse to follow the bylaw could be fined up to $100,000.
While tenant advocacy groups applaud the city's move, they say the province needs to do more for Ontarians living in rental housing.
Bylaws such as this one are emergency measures to address the problem of trying to preserve our existing affordable housing stock. The one solution that could be passed in a day with signature is closing those rent control loopholes, ending the incentive for landlords to act illegally and scrupulously against long-term renters.
Officials say similar bylaws have been enacted in other cities, including Hamilton and London. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
OPP are investigating a crash involving a tractor-trailer on the 403. This was in Hamilton. It happened in the westbound lanes at Main Street. A UPS truck went through the guardrail, causing extensive damage, but no injuries have been reported. Cleanup efforts have wrapped up and all lanes are now open.
In Etobicoke, a fire broke out at a car dealership early this morning. Emergency crews were called to the business on Dundas Street West, just east of the 427, around 5:30 a.m. Toronto Fire says one vehicle was engulfed in flames and two others also caught fire. The flames were quickly put out and no one was hurt. The cause is under investigation.
First, it was July 21st. Then the date for a trade deal with the U.S. was moved to August 1st. Now, Donald Trump says a final deal may not happen at all, making tariffs an unavoidable reality for the Canadian economy.
As negotiations between Ottawa and Washington continue behind the scenes, the U.S. president seems intent on creating economic chaos and confusion. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump says most trade deals will be finished by August 1st. But as for us,
we haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation.
Hot on the heels of senior Canadians declaring progress and encouragement after D.C. meetings.
I had a productive, cordial discussion meeting with Secretary Lutnick.
We don't have a deal with Canada. We haven't been focused on it.
It looks like we're trying to negotiate with the guy at the reception desk. Commerce Secretary Lutnick's not going to make decisions.
Ottawa has certainly been focused on Washington.
I hope the Prime Minister and the government will start doing is being a little bit more forceful in putting out exactly what we're going to do in terms of preparing workers who are going to be affected.
The hit is starting to be material and financial in nature.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce says the months of uncertainty are toxic for business.
It's not going to go away on August 1st, even if we have a temporary deal, because we are facing a real review of CUSMA, which is the big one.
But for now, all eyes are focused on August 1st, with no one having a clear idea of what will happen before the day the president has threatened to impose 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by CUSMA. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
There was relief at a remote mine in northern British Columbia. 3 workers who were trapped underground for more than 2 days are now safely on the surface following a complex rescue operation. CTV's Reagan Hasagawa reports.
After more than 60 hours trapped deep underground, these scenic views of the Red Chris mine are a sight for sore eyes.
3 workers from high-tech drilling who were safely brought to surface last night. They are being reunited with their families early this morning. We are deeply relieved that all 3 individuals are safe and in good health and spirits.
One worker described the ordeal as a wild week and said he was glad to be out of there. The diamond drillers from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario were rescued faster than experts had expected, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of new technology.
Safety protocols work. Incredible that Kevin Darren and Jesse did exactly what they were trained to do, and because of that, they stayed safe.
The trio got trapped Tuesday after 2 rock falls in the access tunnel. They were able to get to a refuge chamber equipped with everything they needed to survive for weeks, but they did lose all communication.
We do the daily inspections. We do monthly inspections. We actually do second line of defense inspections with teams from external to observe and see. This one that caught us by surprise.
Experts say these kinds of rock falls are rare.
It's just nothing but uncertainty, radical uncertainty.
He says it appears everything was done to prevent the disaster, but the nature of the work is unpredictable.
They were probably drilling holes for explosives. What they were building was a ramp, or what was known as a decline into the underground.
He expects we'll soon be hearing about these kinds of situations more often.
BC is really open pit mining country, and it has been for a while. Very few underground mines. We're going to see more underground mines because of the demand for metals.
BC may lead the industry in safety, but experts warn automation is the next step to prevent future emergencies. The open pit mine at Red Chris is resuming operations, but the underground project will remain closed until the investigation is complete. Reagan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
Canada's Prime Minister calls Israel's handling of humanitarian aid in Gaza a violation of international law. Mark Carney posted a message on social media last night saying that Canada condemns the Israeli government's failure to prevent the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian disaster in Gaza. He is calling on all sides to negotiate an immediate ceasefire. Carney also reiterated the calls for Hamas to immediately release all hostages. Earlier this week, the UN Human Rights Office reported that since May, more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces while trying to access food.
The leaders of France, the UK, and Germany say the humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip must end now. The so-called E3 group says it firmly opposes all efforts to impose Israeli sovereignty over the occupied Palestinian territories. They called for an end to the war through an immediate ceasefire and are committed to supporting diplomatic efforts by the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt.
Here in Canada, the federal NDP has released the official rules for its leadership race that begins in September. The final vote to replace Jagmeet Singh will happen at the party's convention in Winnipeg in March. Candidates looking to become leader will be required to gather specific numbers of signatures from supporters in Canada's 5 regions and from racial and LGBTQS+ groups. Also, at least 10% of a candidate's signatures must come from New Democrats aged 25 or younger.
Canada's Supreme Court has given a thumbs down to hearing a legal case involving an emoji. In 2021, a text contract was sent to a farmer for delivery of flax. The response was a thumbs up emoji. But the product was not delivered and legal action began against the farmer. A Saskatchewan court ruled in favor of the grain buyer, finding the emoji met signature requirements and was a legally binding agreement. The province's appeals court upheld the decision. So the buyer went to the Supreme Court, which has dismissed the application.
Just ahead on CTV News, rescue on the rapids. Marine unit firefighters reveal tough training in rough waters, the swimming safety tips that could save a life. That's coming up.
And here's another look at the forecast. Still hot and humid out there. That's a shot of Nathan Phillips Square, where a taste of Vietnam is happening. It's all weekend long. There is music, dance, arts and crafts, lots of family-friendly fun. As for how things are going to be overnight, normally we get a cool down, but not tonight. It's going to feel like 27 degrees. There's some wind, but it's very light, and there's some clouds. We'll give you a look at how things are going to be for the next 7 days right after the break. Stay with us.
You see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers. You don't pay unless they win.
Did you hear the rain last night, or maybe you even felt it? After a day of intense heat, thunderstorms swept across this region last night, bringing high winds and heavy rain. The GTA was under a severe thunderstorm warning, but that ended a few hours later. You were outside, Nathan, last night for your music fest. Did you hit the
right.
rain?
So I was watching some live music, and I could see the menacing clouds approaching. So finally, we decided, let's just get out of here. We bailed, and thankfully, we were okay because the rain eventually did come down. But I will say, while I was sleeping, I didn't hear it. Thankfully. How about yourself? Did you hear the rain overnight?
I was down at the Beaches Jazz Fest. We saw the lightning. We felt some of the raindrops, decided to call it a night just as everybody was packing up their equipment. But you know what? It didn't totally cancel the show. Some of the bands played on. And, you know, later in the night, people had their umbrellas out. So it was still a really great night.
Great. You got to prepare for it. So let's take a look at how conditions are right now. And the story is the Humidex. There is a heat warning in effect. It feels like 35 in Toronto, 37 in Kingston. 32 in Wyerton. Even though we're in the 20s, it really feels like we're in the 30s. And if you look at where the watches and warnings are, it's Toronto, Hamilton, Niagara Falls, pretty much that horseshoe right there. That might be gone by tomorrow, but we will see because we're pretty much close to heat warning territory. As for the lows, it's above seasonal. It's going to go down to 21 in Toronto, 16 in Peterborough, 17 in Waterloo, but it's going to feel much warmer than that, I guess you can say, based on what we typically get this time of year. Tomorrow morning, if you maybe like to go out for a run or maybe run with the dog, go for a bike ride, the earlier the better, because if you wait for, let's say, midday, it's going to be really hot. The highs for tomorrow is expected to be 29 in Peterborough, 29 in Toronto, 28 in London, so another hot one. It's going to feel like we're in the mid-30s once again with the Humidex. That dog park forecast, again, the earlier the better, but with dogs, you got to take them out whenever you can, so make sure you carry lots of water with you. There is a chance of some thunderstorms in the afternoon. Looking at the long-range forecast for tomorrow, the high 29 degrees, chance of thunderstorms is going to feel like 35. And then Sunday, the high 31 is expected. It's going to feel like 42. So when we talk about relief for Saturday, not much. For Monday, lots of sunshine. Again, it's going to feel like 42 with the Humidex. And then Tuesday, that heat's continuing as far as how it's going to feel, like 39 degrees. Chance of showers on Tuesday. For Wednesday, the high 27 degrees. Again, going to feel like 33. And then if you want to call it relief, you can get that Thursday and Friday, highs of 26 and 24 respectively. So late next week is when things kind of get back to normal as far as where we are typically this time of year. 27 is normal. We'll give you a recap of the forecast a little bit later on in the show.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. And as we head into another warm weather weekend, officials want to ensure everyone who is out on the water is safe.
It's National Drowning Prevention Week, and a water rescue team in Ottawa is providing a first-hand look at their high-level training. CTV's Katie Griffin has the story.
This water, fast moving. Getting caught up in it can be dangerous. On this day, this is all part of a training exercise.
The really important thing in swift water is don't try to stand up.
Members of Ottawa Fire's water rescue teams train here, so they're ready for when real emergency calls come in.
That was really deep there.
We practice swimming, aggressive swimming, catching eddies, just like we did with you. We'll put victims in the water and do a go rescue where one of our guys is tethered to shore.
After jumping into the water, I'm quickly carried away.
If you find yourself in this situation, try to get on your back, feet up, and use your arms to steer you where you want to go.
Ottawa Fire, try and swim to me.
Ottawa Fire water rescue technician Matt Cheslock jumps in to get me.
We have to time it up so that you're close enough that when we jump, we can swim to you. Like if we jump in and you're already gone, we'll never catch you because we're both going at the same speed.
These skills crucial when navigating the most notorious spot in Ottawa, the Deschênes Rapids near Britannia Beach.
Part of the problem is you can't see it that well upstream. By the time people realize where they are in the rapids that are ahead, the current's already moving so fast they can't get themselves out.
Last year, firefighters made 15 water rescues here. So far this year, already 13.
One of the things that we train for is how to read the water and which way to go up. And that's why we have two teams that one will go above the rapids and one will be below. If they can't get them up quick enough above, then we can either get them below.
Some areas are off limits, even to rescuers. It's just too dangerous.
One of the spots that we can't operate in, just because there's so many hazards. There's rebar, there's chunks of concrete everywhere. So this is one of the most dangerous spots on this stretch of river.
back in the training area.
These waters move fast.
When this team isn't saving lives for real, they're practicing how to do it, ready for when that call comes. Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Coming up on CTV News, from the courtroom to the locker room, the not guilty verdict in the hockey sex assault trial has sent shockwaves through the sports world and beyond. Experts assess the question of consent and where hockey culture goes from here.
It is the absolute final deadline for the Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery, which means you have only until midnight tonight to get your tickets for your chance to win some incredible prizes. Joining me now is Ramona Oz from the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. Last year, this lottery sold out.
You're absolutely right. You want to avoid disappointment because you want to be in to win one of three, not one, not two, but three incredible cottages. Of course, we're here today at the beautiful Halliburton Cottage. It includes $50,000 cash. But gee, we have another couple cottages.
Yeah, there's a grand prize, $2.7 million. It is a cottage in Kawarthas. It includes $50,000 cash. And then, of course, the one in Muskoka as well.
I know. All the favorites across Northern Ontario in terms of cottage country, we have it covered. And of course, you can use the $50,000 to buy some toys. You might see some people on jet skis in the background. And of course, I want to make sure to remind everyone to add on a 50-50 because we have some big news to share that our jackpot, thanks to all of you, is now over $4 million. And that means the winner takes home more than $2 million. And of course, you can also add on a cash calendar, a wander list, and all proceeds go to fundraising at Princess Margaret, where we're really working to create a world free from the fear of cancer.
Yeah, you're fueling life-saving cancer research. And a lot of people should know that you have so many prizes. These are the grand prizes, but there's over 6,000 other incredible prizes.
That's right, over 6,000 valued at more than $8.5 million. We've got cars, vacations, electronics, you name it, we have it.
The winner is going to be announced just in a couple of weeks. So that means that winner can enjoy this cottage for the rest of the summer season.
That's right. And we're calling it a cottage, G, but really,
it's not.
This is a 4-season property.
It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And you're right, 4 seasons right here in Halliburton. You can go skiing, snowshoeing in the wintertime. And then, of course, the summer season is a popular one.
That's right. So avoid disappointment. Go to princessmargaretlotto.com and buy your tickets today.
Reaction is still pouring in after all 5 former World Junior hockey players were acquitted in a high-profile sexual assault trial.
It put a focus on hockey culture and the meaning of consent. Today's CTV's Adrian Gabriel spoke with someone working to educate young players.
A verdict delivered, a sports culture remains in the spotlight.
They found me lying on a floor in the bathroom, unconscious.
Kathleen LaRoche was 23 years old when she believed she was drugged and then eventually sexually assaulted in 2015 by a major junior hockey player in Quebec, who she says would go on to have a successful NHL career.
I called him. They found me unconscious. What happened? He said, just the only thing is I'm about to sign with the NHL. Please don't talk about it. So, that's what I did.
In denial for years, she suppressed the memory of what she says took place.
When Me Too wave came, my body started having anxiety symptoms, as if my body remembered, even if my head didn't want to.
As part of her personal journey and to help educate athletes, LaRoche is now working with hockey players and coaches at all levels, starting as young as 15 years old, sharing her experience and the importance of consent and self-awareness.
I want to educate people like him to protect people like me.
Author Laura Robinson wrote Crossing the Line, that examines the pervasive culture of Canada's national sport.
In my book, I have 2 guys who were convicted, actually, Jarrett Reed and Andrew Power, as they were convicted as junior players. They're both coaching right now.
Following this week's verdicts, one-time star goalie Carter Hart had his lawyer share this message.
He is committed to sharing what he has learned with others in his personal circle and in his professional life.
We need to hear what Carter Hart believes those lessons are. We have to stop acting like this, and we have to make sure that there's not a generation after us acting like this.
For LaRoche, that's her ultimate goal.
By helping them understand themselves more, they can be more conscious about their actions.
LaRoche says she's witnessed a willingness from young athletes who are eager to change the narrative, adding that she's hopeful for the next generation. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, London, Ontario.
A Canadian brewing company is donating emergency drinking water to hard-hit communities in northern Ontario dealing with wildfires. Emergency Preparedness and Response Minister Jill Dunlop was on hand as the company packed up and shipped out 40,000 cans of water. The donation is part of Labatt Breweries of Canada Disaster Relief Program and will be distributed to 2 organizations providing frontline relief. Labatt says it temporarily paused beer production to activate its emergency water tap to help those most in need.
I think it's great to see the public-private partnership in supporting our northern communities, and not just here in Ontario. They've also spread water to Saskatchewan and to Manitoba, but that corporate responsibility and how proud we are of Labatt's for stepping up, taking a Team Canada approach to being there to support communities in their times of need.
Since launching the initiative, Labatt says it has donated more than 1.1 million cans.
South Asian music and dance is at the heart of a party in Mississauga tonight, and that's where we find our CTV's John Musselman, who joins us from the Bollywood Monster Mashup with the details. John.
Hi, Natalie. Yes, we're right in the middle of it here at Celebration Square in Mississauga. This is the Bollywood Mashup for 2025. We'll show you some video we shot just a short time ago. What this really is a celebration of the South Asian community, all of the food, the music, the culture, but everyone is welcome here. We can let you know it's free to come here. Parking is also free, so we're already seeing thousands of people here at the square taking in all of the activities and the food. And there is a main stage here, so there'll be a lot of musical performances as well. We did have a chance to speak to some people and ask them what they like about it. Parents and kids, here's what they had to tell us.
Just the atmosphere, the events that they put on, yeah, they're very interesting. The music, the food, obviously, always come for Indian food. So yeah, bit of everything.
There are like a lot of people here, and they all are happy, and there are like a lot of people, and people are giving free food and all, samples. Yeah, it's really fun here. I really like it. Like when people give free samples and they're nice to us. I like that.
So as you can see, food is the big item here that everybody seems to be enjoying as well. And behind me, they're getting ready to start their musical performances for the night. Again, this goes all weekend long, and it'll be open tonight until 11 o'clock. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. After the break, the white-hot Blue Jays take over first place in the American League as the battle for baseball supremacy continues in Detroit. We have a preview coming up.
It's just really inconvenient. The horns keep on going for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight.
Updating our top stories now, the TTC is apologizing following complaints about extended horn sounds blaring from its buses during the day and night. The Transit Commission says it is a feature of the vehicles that is intended for safety, and operators are being reminded to disarm the alarm whenever possible.
We are so proud and happy that this bylaw is being enacted now.
The city is moving forward with plans to better protect tenants from so-called renovictions. A new bylaw is set to come into effect next week. It would require a landlord obtain a rental renovation license from the city before they can begin work renovating a property which is currently inhabited.
Gotta come out at 5 a.m. It's the only way. I'm already sweating.
Oh, that's why I'm wearing all white, to make sure to stay cool.
Toronto remains under a heat warning, but many people were outside today doing their best to stay cool in temperatures hovering around 30 degrees and nearing 40 with the humidex. Some took to pools to help beat the heat, while the city also has 500 cooling centers available.
And remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos, or video of breaking news, let us know.
Canadian stocks closed at a record high today, even as Washington threatened to keep tariffs in place on our exports. BNN Bloomberg's Andrew Bell brings us the latest in business.
Hello there. Toronto's composite stock index closed at a new record high today, with investors apparently undismayed by the latest tariff threat from US President Donald Trump. Trump said he might just abandon trade talks with Ottawa altogether and leave import levies in place. We haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada, Trump said. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation. The president has imposed steep new levies on imports of Canadian steel and aluminum. Stocks helping to lift the TSX today included Shopify and Royal Bank, but Tech Resources slid again amid disappointment over glitches at its giant copper mine in Chile. The Canadian dollar was under pressure. It changed hands at 72.96 US cents, down about a third of a cent. West Texas Intermediate oil changed hands at $65.16, down 87 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $53.69, up 50 cents. And the TSX closed at its new high of 27,494.35, up just over 122 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The federal government's deficit ballooned to $6.5 billion in the first 2 months of this fiscal year. That compares to the $3.8 billion deficit during the same stretch last year. Prime Minister Carney's government announced earlier this year it was not tabling a budget, opting to issue an economic statement this fall instead.
In the U.S., federal regulators have approved Paramount's $8 billion merger with Skydance. The stamp of approval comes after Donald Trump's legal battle with 60 Minutes, the crown jewel of Paramount-owned CBS. Earlier this month, the company agreed to pay him $16 million to settle a lawsuit. Critics say it was a bribe to prevent the Trump administration from potentially blocking the deal. The FCC says the merger is an opportunity to bring more balance to CBS.
Department store Simons is set to open its first of 2 stores in our city at Yorkdale Shopping Center next month. The massive store will take up nearly 120,000 square feet and will feature both international brands and those exclusive to Simons. A second location will open later this year in the Eaton Center. Simons already operates 18 stores in Canada, with locations in Quebec, Alberta, BC, and Nova Scotia.
Meantime, Hudson's Bay has reached deals to sell the leases of 6 store locations for a total of more than $5 million. They include the location at Vaughan Mills and the Toronto Premium Outlets in Halton Hills. The Bay put up its leases for sale earlier this year after it filed for creditor protection and closed its 80 stores and 16 others under the Saks banner.
It's a scam that's happening more often. A fake rental listing hoping to trick someone into sending first and last month's payments. A Cambridge man didn't fall for the scam, but says his newly purchased home is being used as bait. CTV's Jeff Pickle has this cautionary tale.
Brett Broman is a proud new homeowner.
And moved in here on July 8th.
But not long after buying, he noticed people taking a very close look at his new home.
I just had seen on my camera that there's people walking around my yard once, and I thought that was odd, but I thought it was just a utility person.
Then on Sunday, Broman says, a very strange situation.
There was 3 guys who just showed up in my backyard.
Confused and anxious, Broman asked what they were doing.
Actually, we saw this house in the listing. Sorry?
After an awkward few minutes, the guys explained there was an ad on Facebook Marketplace listing the house for rent.
It's very nerve-wracking, you know, knowing that like there's an ad up for your house and people could at any time just be trespassing on your yard.
Broman says because the house was recently for sale, someone has taken the pictures from the listing and posted it as a rental. At well below market price, Broman says he's worried someone might fall for the scam.
So people are probably going to be thinking, like, this is such a good deal.
Broman has reported the issue to police, who say until money changes hands, there's little they can do. He says his attempts to contact Facebook and get the ad removed have not been successful.
Their bots just keep on saying it doesn't go against their standards, and then the ad's still up. So it's been since Sunday, and now today's Friday.
Well, Broman says he is hopeful to avoid any more awkward encounters.
I'm wondering, like, oh, are people going to just start peeking in my windows while I'm like sitting there watching TV or cooking dinner?
He wants people to be aware of the signs of a scam.
Make sure that you actually see the inside of the house, and whoever you're talking to has a key and can go inside and can show you around, not just tell you to walk around outside.
As of this afternoon, the ad remains on Facebook. Broman is hopeful it will come down so he can enjoy his new home in peace. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Cambridge.
The American League leading Toronto Blue Jays will look to keep their winning ways going with another showdown in Motown tonight.
Well hit ball to deep left, and he made him pay.
The Jays won 11-4 last night and are going for their 7th win in 8 games as they continue a 4-game set against Detroit. Jose Barrios gets the start for Toronto. Milwaukee is the only team in all of Major League Baseball with a better record than the Blue Jays.
And we mentioned it earlier, here in town, qualifying begins tomorrow for the National Bank Open at Sobeys Stadium. At least 7 Canadians on the men's side could be competing in the main draw. A trio of seeded players from this country will receive a first-round bye. Denis Shapovalov, Felix Auger-Aliassime, and Gabriel Diallo. The draw was revealed today for the tournament that will feature 96 players. The women's bracket will play in Montreal.
Workers have started dismantling the 450-meter concrete ring at Montreal's Olympic Stadium that forms the inner lip of the existing roof. They are using custom-built mobile scaffolding that will hold each arm of the ring as sections of it are taken down. It's all part of the $870 million roof replacement project that the Quebec government hopes will eventually reinstill pride in the stadium.
Still ahead tonight, military memorabilia stashed away for centuries. A Stratford family reveals what they discovered behind the drywall, and you won't believe just how old the artifact is.
Tonight, taken for a ride.
They went into every nook and cranny of my life as well as the passenger's life.
The shocking discovery by border agents, how a trip in a rental car turned into a nightmare. Later on CTV National News.
And a reminder, the CTV News at 6 podcast is available as a download every weeknight. And a special hello to those of you listening to the newscast live on News Talk 1010.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Finally tonight, an unearthed treasure now being shared with the public.
For several decades, a 1700s-era piece of military equipment was hiding inside a Stratford home until now. CTV's Ashley Bacon has more on how and when it was discovered.
That was a long time ago, and I've kept it ever since.
The year was 1945. A then 15-year-old rising track star Gordon Wilder and his grandfather began to renovate their home on Coburg Street in Stratford. When an interior wall came down, a treasure was unearthed.
Out pops this ammunition pouch, and it was buried in sawdust, which was insulation in those days. And so we dug it out. He looked at it and he handed it to me. He said, "Here, you can have it."
For the last 8 decades, this ammunition belt has been carefully kept at the Wilder home.
Mom and Dad decorated their house so lovely, and it was just part of it, and I never really thought much of it.
Now 95 years old, Gordon believes it's time to pass it on.
I didn't want money for it. I just wanted to give it and verify history. And that's hopefully what's happened here in this museum.
Is a cartridge holder or an ammo pouch that contained shot and bolt, and our collections manager has dated it back to not only the War of 1812, but earlier to the 1700s.
The belt believed to be used in the War of 1812 and with the local militia before somehow ending up in a wall at 146 Coburg.
What we can determine is that whoever had this at the house that at that time in 1945 was 146 Coburg Street, that they probably brought it here.
Bringing with it a lifetime of memories and history to pass along.
I'm happy about it. I can sleep better now at night.
It's great because we already have an exhibit about this history, and we'll be able to tell its story.
After being a treasured family heirloom for the last 80 years, it'll be another few weeks before the public can get to view it on display here at the Stratford Perth Museum. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Stratford.
How cool is that? Okay, as we head into another warm weather weekend, Nathan, it is going to stay hot. You were just saying, though, this is the hottest time of the year.
Right. End of July, first week of August. Typically, that's the hottest time of the summer. Although right now it's a bit hotter, I guess, than what we would normally get this time of year. But anyway, looking at the satellite radar, maybe a pop-up shower here and there, but really nothing much to discuss. But the humidex, we're talking about that. It feels like 35 degrees in Toronto, 35 in Hamilton, 34 in London. And if you're heading to the cottage, the forecast is pretty good. Chance of rain pretty much everywhere, but a slight chance of rain, and also extremely hot. Long-range forecast, again, we're in the 30s for the most part. It's going to feel like 40s Sunday and Monday. And then if you're looking for a cool down, you're going to have to wait until maybe next week, Friday.
It's a deal. Okay, be sure to join Heather Butts tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching. Have a good night.